G'day. This week I was asked the question of what should I expect a good return on my investment property to be? And that's a pretty open-ended question, right? Because there's a whole bunch of variables and many of them relate to the property and location, and a whole bunch of others relate to you as a person and what you should expect or need to run this investment that you're going to go and buy. So let's look at some basics. If you're talking about residential housing and it could be in a capital city area, you could be as low as, in the mid ones of a percent of return to twos and threes. And as you get further out into, say, some regional areas, you might be getting to, say, new house and land packages of 4.5 to 5% return. And that return is based on the cash flow of the property and the price of the property that you paid for it. You go out further to a mining town and what have you, you can get 8, 9% return, and that's the cash return again. That's just the rent return, the yield of the property. The thing is that no one really buys it for that reason, right, or that purpose. They don't necessarily just buy for cash return unless you are buying that 10% property. If you're buying a property that is 2%, 3%, 4, 5% return on its cash flow, for your investment, you're sure as heck not buying that for cash flow. What you're doing is you're buying for a total return, the overall return. And what you are either consciously or subconsciously factoring in is the growth rate of that property. And if that property is also growing at 3, 4%, well, then you add that to your base rate. So if your property is growing at 4% and you're getting a 4%, well, then all of a sudden you're getting an 8% return from that property, and it's starting to sound better. At the end of the day, you still have to do all your calculations that relate to you. Someone who's buying with debt could have different requirements for someone who's buying with cash. And so there's not a simple answer to this question. But what is simple is that it simply must be totally decided upon and all the facts known before you buy your next property. I'm Scotty North, and this is 2 Minutes Tops.